Good evening, everyone. It is 7 o'clock. We shall begin. Welcome to this regular public meeting of the Dieppe City Council. And I don't have anything to say tonight. We'll go on to the opening word. Dear colleague, let's have the serenity to accept the things we cannot change, the courage to change the things we can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Do we have a quorum? Yes, we do have a quorum tonight. Any conflict of interest to be declared? None. Adoption of the agenda, moved by Councillor Leblanc, seconded by Councillor Burido. Any question or any addition to make? So if not, all those in favor say aye. Contrary minded nay. Carried. Presentation, inquiries and petition. Inquiries by the council members to the Kodiak Regional RCMP. Is there any questions for the RCMP representative? Mr. Beauchamp, that is. Good evening. I'll take a few minutes before I answer Mr. Godet's question. I have with me my pleasure to introduce to you Mr. Luc Breton. Luc Breton arrives from Fredericton. He will be the officer for operation for the Kodiak RCMP. He arrives from Fredericton with 29 years experience. He looks much younger than that. He still has the experience. I just wanted to introduce him to you, ladies and gentlemen. There will be more meeting where I am not available. He will be representing the RCMP. Very well, thank you. Let's go back to the question. I had an opportunity to look at the Dieppe website and to look at the questions that were asked to Mr. Como at the last meeting. I have a few answers, but the most important that came out is the cooperation we want to have, the statistics that I will be able to provide with the cooperation of the city to look at the traffic calming, if I understand the situation. I did some research. We have to understand when we give a ticket, it's called a Provincial Procedures Act. It is done annually, and when the information is entered in the computer, the research are very limited. Except the good news is that we've been waiting for several months. We're about to have it in the province. It's called e-ticketing. That will be a modernization of the system when we have precise question as to which area of Quebec, in what ward, we should be able to do a research, and it should help us to do some traffic controlling. We don't have it, but to answer your question, sir, I had the pleasure in 2015, as far as driving ticket. Kodiak gave out from January to December 2015 approximately 3,000 tickets for the three municipalities, Dieppe, Moncton, and Riverview. And we are able to say that in Dieppe we've given 530 tickets, and out of that 12% was for speeding. All the others were based on the Motor Vehicle Act, and there are sections according to the information that we receive and the investigation we made. I don't know if I've answered your question, sir. Yes, I thank you for that information. If I make a calculation, I take the 10 or 20% between 50 and 60 traffic tickets in a year, and when we come back to 5 or 6 tickets per month. The problem that I have and the problem that I try to raise is that in wards, in different wards, what we found out at the last meeting is that there are very little work by the RCMP to deal with speeding. The RCMP gets involved occasionally when they receive calls, when they receive information saying that there is speeding happening. What happens in the different wards, a lot of speeding happens during the day. The chances might be 1 on 1,000 to get caught. So the people are free to speed as they so wish. Last week I was outside my house and a car went at 90 to 100 kilometers an hour. He was going so fast I could not take his license number. I try to reduce the speed not only on Vanier but on Tranquil and 5 or 6 streets in Dieppe where speeding is really a major problem. It's hard to believe. The only way to stop that, in my opinion, since the chances of getting caught are very reduced, is to find physical obstacle. I'm talking about three-way stops. I talk also about what we find on Gauvin Street, silence police. Something that could replace what we don't have right now. You will agree with me, won't you, that the RCMP have other things to do. They have something more serious to do. But nevertheless, our wards, there are families. Some people complain from that speed. And I receive email from people who say, thank you for your intervention. It's time that we try to do something to stop the people from speeding. They know they have very little chance of getting caught. That's why I wanted to have the information of out of the 500 tickets, 30 or 40 of these are on Acadie or on Dieppe Boulevard or on Champlain, where there's a lot of traffic and the distance are quite long. I thank you for your intervention. I thank you also for having given me that information, because I will continue to try and encourage the city to find solutions in the wards, in the areas where there is a problem. Thank you. What I could say also, you can depend on me for my cooperation. Is something we can do together. Studies made by the city, but with the expertise of the RCMP, to find in different specific ward of the city to have an impact. You can depend on us also. Thank you. Is there any other questions? I don't see any. Thank you, Mr. Beauchamp, and you are free to go. If you want to stay, you can, but if not, you can leave. You're free to leave. Next item, question by members of the public. Is there any question from the public? We have one. Good evening, Mr. Beliveau. Good evening, Deputy Mayor, Manager, and councillors. I'm here to ask you the following question. It's to know if the discussion will be held in the near future on the question of the water source for the city of Dieppe, and considering the 5 years suspension in the addition of fluoride in the water. Apparently that discussion will be held in the next few weeks or next few months by city councilors. Going to have an answer as to whether it will be studied, will it be publicly discussed. I'm convinced it will be discussed. When, I don't know. Mr. Melanson, do you have a calendar or a schedule? Deputy Mayor, Mr. Beliveau, good evening. That question was raised at a meeting of the three administration last week. We're looking at the way of bringing up the debate. We remember the debate was held, it was a few nights of discussions. We want to make sure that the debate, if debate there is, that we can look at both sides of the question. We had discussion with the other two municipalities, and I can also say that the water is owned by Moncton. We purchase water from Moncton, but they have confirmed they're ready to receive our opinion, our comments towards that situation on the fluoride in the water. If that is the case, I ask that the city of Moncton will have the openness of studying things as was the case 5 years ago, and to take back the decision that I wish was not for the science. The science has not changed very much on the question, and I think we will want to hold it such that that some professional association and some organization want to support me to add it to our source of water. That is not the desire of everyone to consume that chemical. Another thing I find deplorable is that there is a professional association that declare that the rate of calories in the population spread by health professionals is increasing. An individual in the healthcare said it has nothing to do by not having the water or having the water. It has to do with sugar. The consumption of sugar has been on the rise for the last 5 years. We should not isolate an element and think we should reintroduce that element in our water. I understand it's not our water. It's water we purchase from the city of Moncton, and it should nevertheless be discussed based on science and not on statements that are hard to show a scientific evidence. On that, I thank you, Deputy Mayor. I wish you a good evening, and by the way, congratulations, and thank you for the municipal service you're rendering. Thank you, Mr. Belleville. Any other questions from the public? None? So let's go on. Adoption of minutes. Minutes of the regular council meeting held on September 26, 2016. Moved by Councilor Brideau. Seconded by Councilor Leblanc. Any question, correction to be brought to the minutes? If not, all those in favor say aye. Contrary-minded, nay. Carried. So now, 10.1 expansion Dieppe. Downtown Master Plan Study. Deputy Mayor, you have recommendation to proceed with phase 1 and 2 on the downtown master plan for downtown, a total cost of $135,000. The study will be done over 2 financial year. It is recommended to go on with an expenditure of $75,000 in 2016 and the balance in 2017. The accounts are identified to proceed with that project, which is much expected and has to be finalized. This is for your consideration and your recommendation tonight. Councilor Brideau, you want to read? Thank you, Deputy Mayor. That council authorizes the payment of $135,000 to Expansion Dieppe for expenses related to the study parts 1 and 2 of Dieppe's downtown master plan, namely $75,000 in 2016 and $60,000 in 2017, and also authorizes that these expenditures be defrayed from account number 1-2-55-73-2805, General Operating Budget, Expansion Dieppe. That council authorizes a budget transfer in the amount of $75,000 from account number 1-2-20-19-2950, General Operating Budget Administration Other, to account number 1-2-55-73-2805, General Operating Budget Expansion Dieppe, for the 2016 expenditures. That Council authorizes a budget transfer for 2017 in the amount of $60,000 from account number 7-4-20-12-8910, General Operating Reserve Fund, to account number 1-2-55-73-2805, General Operating Budget Expansion Dieppe. I so move. Deputy Mayor, moved by Councillor Brido, seconded by Councillor Arsenault. Question, Councillor Leblanc. Thank you, Deputy Mayor. Question that is being asked often is the parking in downtown with the addition of the new buildings. Will the master plan deal with that issue? Yes, Mr. Deputy Mayor, in Phase 1, the parking issue and the future need were addressed in the study, and we're waiting for the tabling of that study in the next few weeks. Yes, that question was raised and will be an integral part of the study. So a long-term parking, yes, thank you very much. Councillor Anna. Thank you, Deputy Mayor. I'm surprised that the company that was chosen, WSP, are engineers. And I look at our planner. Is there a way of knowing if some planners will work on that file? Downtown is much more than parking. It's more than a building. It's a place where we will live. It's a place, it's a jewel of our city. I don't know WSP enough, but I find that there is more a vision of engineering and less of planning. The planners are professional and they look at the whole of a project. So I put this forward. It may be my ignorance of WSP, but and also I don't see the other four. If Expansion Dieppe has looked at the other four, the other four submissions or tenders. Thank you, Councillor Alain. 12 firms were invited. We received 4 proposals. We approve for Phase 1 WSP with an option of being able to proceed with Phase 2. So tonight, we have to proceed with a public purchase that is over the amount authorized by the city. We have to combine both in the same resolution. You have Phase 1 and 2. Phase 1 is completed and we proceed with Phase 2. Mr. Godbout is here. He could give you more details on WSP that met all the obligation. And Mr. Gerard was a member of the evaluation committee. Mr. Gerard, if you want to add something. Thank you, Deputy Mayor. And thank you for your question, Councillor Alain. WSP is a multidisciplinary firm. There's as much engineer as planners that will work on the project. So if I recall correctly, there are 3 planners, certified planners that will work on the downtown plan at the same time as the engineers and other people from other specialties. Thank you. Other questions? If not, we'll go. All those in favor, say aye. Contrary-minded, nay. Carried. So next item, 11, Municipal Bylaws. 11.1, Bylaw Z-9-2, amending the Municipal Development Plan Bylaw, Dieppe Boulevard, New School. The reading, it's in entirety. Reading, it's in entirety. Councillor Leblanc. Thank you, Deputy Mayor. Bylaw number Z-9-2, a bylaw to amend a bylaw relating the City of Moncton Municipal Development Plan bylaw. The Council of City of Dieppe, under the authority vested in it by the Community Planning Act, RSNB 1973, C-12, as follows: a bylaw relating to the City of Dieppe Municipal Development Bylaw, being bylaw number Z-9, enacted on the 26th day of October 2015 and filed in the Westmoreland County Registry Office at number 35537340 on December the 15th, 2015, hereby amended as follows: Schedule A1, entitled Generalized Land Use Map, where whenever it is mentioned in the text of the City of Moncton Municipal Development Bylaw is amended by the map here to attach as Schedule A-1-2. I move the adoption in its entirety. Moved by Councillor Leblanc, seconded by Councillor Arsenault. Any question? If not, all those in favor say aye. Contrary minded? Carried. Now, third reading by title only. Thank you. Bylaw Z-9.2, and a bylaw amending the Municipal Development Plan bylaw. I move it third reading by title only. Thank you, Mr. Leblanc. Seconded by Councillor Arsenault. Question? No question. All those in favor say aye. Contrary minded, nay. Carried. 11.2, zoning bylaw Z-10-2, Dieppe Boulevard New School, for the reading in its entirety. Councillor Brideau. Thank you, Deputy Mayor. A bylaw to amend the City of Dieppe zoning bylaw number Z-10-2, the Council of City of Dieppe, under the authority vested in it by the Community Planning Act, RSNB 1973, C-12, enacts as follows: the City of Dieppe zoning bylaw, being bylaw number Z-10, enacted on the 26th day of October 2015 and filed in the Westmoreland County
Westmoreland sous le numéro
Registry Office as number 35537357 on December the 15th, 2015, is hereby amended as follows: Schedule A, entitled City of Dieppe Zoning Map, whenever it is mentioned in the text of the zoning bylaw, is amended by the map here to attach as Schedule A2. I so move in its entirety. I move the adoption in its entirety. Thank you, Councillor Brideau. Seconded by Councillor Arsenault. Any question on the motion? If not, all those in favor say aye. Contrary minded, nay. Carried. 11.2.2, third reading by title only. Thank you, Deputy Mayor. Bylaw number Z-10-2, a bylaw to amend the City of Dieppe zoning bylaw. I move the adoption by title only. A third reading. Thank you, Mr. Brideau. Seconded by Mrs. Arsenault. Any question? All those in favor say aye. Contrary minded, carried. (11.3) Bylaw C-2 2016, respecting garbage and refuse collection and disposal. 11.3.1, reading by sections, title, and numbers only. Councillor Ada. Bylaw number C-2 2016, a bylaw relating to the collection and disposal of waste in the city of Dieppe, pursuant to the authority vested in it by the Municipalities Act, RS&B 1973, Chapter M-22. The Council of the Municipality of Dieppe, duly assembled, enacts as follows. Definition. I so move. Moved by Councillor Alla, seconded by Councillor Arsenault. Is there any question on the motion? Councillor Godet. I want to know. I didn't see anything in the paper yet concerning the changes on the management. Is there a delay? Deputy Mayor, if I'm wrong, correct me, but on the 17th, information will be distributed in every household, and we're planning a meeting on 24. We're going by zone. Moncton will review starting on the 17th, and Dieppe will start on the week of the 24th. Thank you, Mr. Manasa. Does that answer, Mr. Godet, your question? Any other question? All those in favor say aye. Contrary-minded, nay. Carried. So 11.3.2, third reading by title only. Third reading of bylaw number C-2, 2016, a bylaw relating to the collection and disposal of waste in the city of Dieppe. I so move, Deputy Mayor. Moved by Councillor Alla, seconded by Councillor Arsenault. Any question on the motion? So all those in favor say aye. Contrary-minded, nay. Carried. So number 12, notice of motion. We don't have any tonight. Number 13, inquiries and announcement by members of council. So I shall begin on my right with Councillor Godet. Thank you, Deputy Mayor. I only have one issue that I will raise again tonight. We've talked with the RCMP, but I received another email. This one concerns Central Street, where the speeds are still exaggerated. And the question that was raised by the citizen is the idea that parking is allowed on both sides of the street. And 2 or 3 house business or business inside their home, whether it's a barber shop, whatnot, cars are parked on both sides of the street all day long. Obviously, it is an important zone. It's a road that is important for the fire trucks, and it's very limited. The width is limited at that place. And the person who spoke to me is a first intervener, and so something should be done about the width or lack of the width. I wanted to bring this up to the public work. Really, do we have to have parking on both sides of Central and other streets also? The width of the streets reduces in an important way when there are 2 cars parked, one besides the other on each side of the street. Thank you. We've undertaken we receive a copy of the email. The engineering department will get involved, and we will let the people responsible know to have mechanism involved try and rectify some situation. The parking on the side of the street is one way to slow down the speed, not necessarily one on each side. So service will look at it and will come back to you with some suggestions and maybe some recommendations. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Nelson. Councillor Leblanc. Thank you, Deputy Mayor. One announcement for the residents of Dieppe is to remind the citizens that this week is the week of special garbage collection, and also the hazardous product collection week. It started this morning. There was today, Wednesday, for the people who have their garbage collection on Wednesday and Friday. And for the day of hazardous product, it will be this Saturday, October the 14th, from 10 to 2 p.m. on Rufa Street. So if you have items that you want to get rid of, whether they're domestic or non-domestic, this is the week to get rid of it. Thank you very much. Thank you. Councillor Leblanc. Councillor Brideau. Thank you, Deputy Mayor. I have nothing for tonight. So, thank you. Councillor Arsenault. Thank you, Deputy Mayor. I have two things to bring up. On October the 4th, I went to the electoral reform in Canada. There was a panel held at the Crabtree Building on Mount Allison, and there were three specialists, three doctors, William Cross, Don Desro, Johanna Verrett, and they are specialized in politics, in the electoral plan. And what I understood is that they went all over the world to visit different places to see how the political reform was done. They found out that ours was not that bad. We were quite good, and something was said in the room. I don't know if it was by someone from UNB or if it was someone from UPI or again from Carleton University. Anyway, they were all scientists in politics. There wasn't too many people in the room, but those who were there were really interested. And the main idea that I concluded from it is that we're quite well, and if we want to make a reform in our electoral process, maybe we could modernize it by doing some kind of election on the internet rather than to try and change the electoral process as such, and that if it was that good, we should not reinvent the wheel, but modernize it. I find it very well, and there were even people from University of Moncton who attended that discussion. It was very interesting. The other thing, on October the 5th, I attended Sound of the City. It was United Way, the capital in Moncton. There was a group of musicians, Olympic Symposium, who provided the music. It was excellent, but there was testimonies by people who were present. It was very touching. There were some from Dieppe. She gave a testimony in English. It was a person who had gone through the youth house in Dieppe. I raised my hat to that person. I wish she would have spoken in French. She gave it in English, and if we want to consider everything she went through, she could say it in any language. I did not really care. and there was a young man from Riverview. It was also very touching. A young girl from Moncton, and another gentleman who spoke also. They were touching testimony, and it showed that United Way helps the whole region as a whole, and it's really worthwhile to help them. Thank you. Thank you, Mrs. Arsenault. Councillor Ala. Thank you, Deputy Mayor. I'm talking about three things. Three things that I like Christmas and I get in hockey. First of all, I'm lucky as a councillor to sit on the board of directors of Manchester Christmas parade. Even if Halloween is not over yet, we're doing our job to prepare Christmas parade. Christmas parade will be on November 26th, a Saturday at 5 o'clock p.m. It's the 50th anniversary. There will be special events throughout the region. It will be called Family Zones. So in the next few days, you will have a press conference. JR, our president, will certainly give out a good program for the parade. It starts at the Cameron Street in Moncton and ends at Paul Street in Dieppe. I hope to see several people from the greater Dieppe present. Secondly, the Dieppe Raguette, we just started a new season, 2016-2017. I'm proud to say that there are 16 teams this year compared to 15 last year. It represents over 250 players. I want to wish a good season to all the volunteers, the parents of the girls, and especially the board of directors, of which I'm the president. There are 23 individuals who meet once a month. I'll name them tonight. We have the time. We have the outgoing Guy Duguay, Vice President Maxime Labbé, Treasurer Michel Boudreau, Secretary Nadine Jaillet, Referee Mike Savoie, Director of Ice Robichaud, Director of Equipment Robert Landry, Director of Managers Lise Robichaud-Magrat, Director of Trainers Marc Béliveau, Director of Communication Social Alain Senot, Co-President of the Denis Dag Michel Boudreau, Councillor Daniel Osier Eliette Benoit, Councillor of Councillor Conrad Robert Robichaud, Christine Bro, Jonathan Desroches, Serge Colette, Luc Bourque, and Sam Langta. 23 individuals from the city of Dieppe who give their time. I congratulate them and I thank them for taking care of our girls from Dieppe. It's something quite special. It's for that reason that I'm president. It's for that reason that I think the people are working for our young people to give them a better life experience. It's something good. Thirdly, I'd like to congratulate the minor hockey from Dieppe and the women hockey from our region. Today there is a Women Hockey Association, the second in New-Brunswick, that is being founded here in Dieppe. I saw J.C. Godet and Denis Leblanc in l'Acadie Nouvelle this week. They talk about Panthère for girls only, and it's here in Dieppe. There are great things happening. We have good volunteers in the region. And these are all people I'd like to congratulate and continue with your good effort. That's it. Thank you, Councillor Ala. I have one announcement to make. It is that we will have the Salon du Livre de Dieppe from October the 20th to the 23rd. It's important to have access to books for all our young people and our older people. There is a large variety of books. I encourage one and all, the whole population of Dieppe, to take part in it. There is a large diversity of books for children. It's extremely important, that aspect. Our children really have to take the taste of reading to try and eliminate the rate of illiteracy. Participate in great number in the book salon. On that, the agenda is completed. I would move the adjournment of the meeting. Good evening to one and all. Good night.